It was a foggy evening when Sarah and her friends arrived at Blackwood Manor, nestled deep within the English countryside. The manor had a reputation that sent shivers down the spines of even the bravest souls. Its history was marred by tales of madness, betrayal, and death, but for Sarah and her friends, it was the perfect setting for their weekend getaway. As the group settled in, the eerie atmosphere of the manor became palpable. Shadows danced across the walls, and the wind howled through the cracks in the ancient stone. That night, Sarah was awakened by a soft whisper. She sat up, heart pounding, and saw a ghostly figure at the foot of her bed. The figure was a woman, her face pale and eyes hollow, dressed in a tattered Victorian gown. The next morning, Sarah and her friends decided to explore the manor. In the attic, they found an old diary belonging to Eliza Blackwood, the last resident of the manor. The diary detailed her descent into madness after the mysterious death of her husband, Lord Blackwood. As they read, a cold chill filled the room, and they heard faint footsteps echoing from the hallway. Determined to uncover the truth, the group held a séance that night. They gathered around a dusty old table in the dining room, candles flickering around them. As they called out to Eliza, the temperature dropped, and a ghostly wind blew through the room. Suddenly, the candles went out, plunging them into darkness. In the pitch black, they heard a blood-curdling scream that seemed to come from all directions. Sarah became increasingly obsessed with Eliza's diary. She started having vivid nightmares and waking visions of Eliza's life. Her friends grew concerned as Sarah's behavior became erratic. One night, during a thunderstorm, Sarah disappeared. They found her in the basement, standing before a large, ornate mirror, her eyes glazed over and a sinister smile on her face. The group discovered that the mirror was a portal to the spirit world. Eliza had used it to communicate with her deceased husband, but something malevolent had come through instead. Realizing that Sarah was possessed, they tried to break the mirror. As they did, Sarah let out a guttural scream, and the room shook violently. In a desperate attempt to save Sarah, her friends confronted the spirit possessing her. The manor seemed to come alive, with walls bleeding and ghostly apparitions filling the rooms. They managed to break the mirror, and a deafening explosion of light and sound followed. Sarah collapsed, and the spirits vanished. Sarah woke up the next morning, free from the possession. The manor was silent and still, but the scars of their experience remained. They left Blackwood Manor, vowing never to return. As they drove away, Sarah glanced back and saw Eliza's ghost watching them from the window, a sorrowful expression on her face. Years later, Blackwood Manor stands abandoned, its windows dark and its halls silent, but locals say that on foggy nights, you can still hear the whispers of the past and see the ghostly figures of those who once lived and died within its cursed walls.